Sam. Nice to have you on the channel, mate. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, hi. I'm SamO'Gara. I'm 17, but when this is coming out, it's my birthday, so I'm 18. I like Formula One, and I'm excited to talk with Raz about Formula One today.
Yeah, so nice to have you on the channel, mate. First of all, how did you get into Formula One?
I don't remember an exact first race, but I think it was in 2012. I was just flicking through channels and I saw it on the BBC at the time, and I just liked the cars going around, so I started following since then.
Yeah, so when did you start following Formula One? Like, what year was it?
I watched a couple of races in 2012, but I didn't start following it properly until 2015, I think it was, because that's when I really started getting invested in it.
Yeah, so you can't remember, or maybe you can. Can you remember the races with Eddie Irvine?
No, I can't, unfortunately.
No, but obviously you know who he was, right? So
I know he was born in Ireland. He raced under a British license for a lot of his time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any other sort of I might be wrong, but is there any other young kid coming out from Ireland that might be making it into Formula
One? Previously there was a couple. I can't remember any of the names because they're not really successful. But at the moment, Luke Allen, who's in Japan, he looks really good, and I think he might be in Formula One in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can.
So, given that you haven't got a national hero in Formula One at the minute, from Ireland, who's your favourite driver?
I have two. I like Sebastian Vettel and I like Romain Grosjean. This kind of odd picks, but yeah, they're my two favourite drivers in the current grid.
Yeah, and why for each one?
Well, Sebastian Vettel, I think when I first started watching, he was winning everything, and naturally, when you're a bit younger, you want to support a winning driver. And then when he moved to Ferrari, I liked Ferrari because they're iconic Formula One, and I liked Seb from when he was winning, so I thought that was a great combination. And then Romain Grosjean, it initially didn't start off with I was a big fan of him, but in 2017, 2018, he was getting a lot of hate for a few accidents and reliability issues, and people were saying he was worse than he is. And it kind of just came from thinking he wasn't as bad as everyone says, and then I started liking him, and because I appreciate he's a big family man, and he actually is quite a good driver.
Yeah, I don't know whether you know Dan from F1E reviews.
Yeah.
Have you come across his channel?
I watch his channel. I know he's a big Grosjean fan as well.
Yeah, but coming, following on, keeping on Grosjean for a while. What do you think? How long do you reckon he's going to be in Formula One still?
If he leaves Haas, then I don't think he'll get a seat elsewhere, and I think I don't think he'll see out. I think he'll finish the season, but I don't think he'll get a seat next year. There's just a lot better. I think there's a lot of great drivers coming through, and Haas have a few they're associated with. So I don't think he'll be in 2021, unfortunately.
Okay, so who are you going to support then?
I'll probably go back to. With Vettel leaving and Grosjean leaving, I don't know. Probably Charles Leclerc. I like Ferrari. He's a great driver, and I think he could be really good.
Yeah. So on Ferrari and on Charles Leclerc, do you reckon Charles is the number one at Ferrari?
I think they will give him priority strategies and everything this year, yeah, because it's Seb's last year and Leclerc is the future of the team, so I think he will be the number one.
So you reckon he's going to be who's going to be world champion first, Verstappen or Leclerc, and why?
I'm not. I think on talent they're both probably equal. They're both really quick. So I'm going to say Leclerc because I think Ferrari will probably build a championship-winning car sooner than Red Bull.
Do you reckon?
I think so. I think Red Bull will always be second or third best. I can't see them getting a title in the next couple of years.
Interesting, because I'm not too sure. You see, I think Red Bull is more likely to get on top of their car before Ferrari, because I think Ferrari are in a bit of a mess. I mean, I might be wrong, but that's just what I think.
Yeah, but like even though they're in a mess at the moment, they're still one of the fastest cars. So I think if they can get everything sorted, they will go back to winning.
Yeah, so interesting. We shall wait and see. But
Yeah.
well, given that we have all have like the coronavirus and everything, how is lockdown treating you, and how is the situation with your family and everybody? Is everybody safe?
Yeah, I'm with my family at the moment, and as of today recording, Ireland's lockdown is nearly gone, so all the shops are open. So, but for the last couple of months, just without motorsport, without football, it's not been fun.
So you must be a football fan as well, are you?
Yeah, I support Leeds at the moment.
Leeds.
Yeah.
All right. A question for you. If you had to choose one sport, Formula One or football, which one would it be?
Probably Formula One. I think it's a bit more exciting seeing cars going around. I think I could live without football.
Good lad. Good answer. But looking forward, like looking for the 2020 season. How do you think it's gonna go?
I think because of it's quite a weird season, I think we could see a few surprises like a Racing Point or Renault or McLaren on the podium. But I think Mercedes is still going to be the best team. Red Bull and Ferrari are going to just get the podiums, and I don't think it's going to be much different. But I think there could be a few surprises.
Oh, interesting. So, what surprises do you think there will be?
Well, I think we're definitely going to see at least one Racing Point podium because they have last year's Mercedes, and that was a great car. I think we may see a couple of other podiums from people we don't expect, maybe like Sainz or Albon will get his first one. So
Yeah. What do you think about Sainz getting a win from McLaren?
with the current car, they're the fourth fastest and they're quite far off the other top three. So it would have to be quite a chaotic race for him to win. But anything can happen in Formula One. Mercedes can crash, Red Bull can have reliability, Ferrari can get the strategy wrong. I wouldn't rule it out, but I think it's quite unlikely.
Oh, but you haven't ruled it out. That was
No.
one of the predictions I made.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you saw my five top things that will happen in the 2020 season.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I did, yeah, and there was a few interesting takes, and I think you said Ricardo will leave Renault, and I think that has quite a high possibility of happening
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
I think him and Cyril are gonna fall out.
Yeah.
And given, do you think Formula One is in trouble? Like, do you think they are at risk, or what do you think about the current situation with the with the finances and everything?
It's kind of difficult to say with the current situation. With regards to Renault, Cyril isn't the best man to be in charge, so he does seem quite hot-tempered and only cares about himself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen to Williams?
Williams, they have a good driver lineup. George Russell is obviously a great talent, and I think Latifi isn't as bad as everyone says, because everyone expects him to be the worst driver. But I don't see them moving from 10th position up and in the constructors.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
I think Williams will be a bit more competitive this year, but I think similar to 2018, they might get a few points, but not many.
Yeah. So what do you think about the future of the team? Do you think there is going to be a buyout completely?
I'm not sure. I don't think it would be a complete buyout. I think the family is too proud of everything they built for them to completely sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that one. But following on from that, what do you think about the actual Williams livery that they've revealed a couple of days ago?
The new livery.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think it's a lot better than the last one. The last one's okay, but this one looks really nice.
It reminds me slightly of the Formula E Mercedes team one.
Oh yeah, it is quite similar in its style. Yeah, it's not, and that's a compliment because Mercedes make great cars.
Yeah. So following on from that, what do you think about the new livery of the Mercedes?
I think it looks really nice. It's a great cause they're doing it for as well. So I think you can't really criticize too much, but it does look great. But I do think Ineos ruin it on the side. I think that red doesn't really match what they were going for.
Yeah. And what do you think about the fact that Rocket are set to become a Mercedes sponsors?
It's quite odd, yeah, because they did leave Williams. Just not entirely sure that's why they left, but for them to leave Williams, go to Mercedes, it is quite odd.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about you. I mean, have you ever been to a Grand Prix before?
I've never been to a Grand Prix, but next year in 2021, I'm hoping to get probably to Silverstone and maybe a few others. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's absolutely amazing. It is. Yeah, so you enjoy it. You will definitely enjoy. But do take some earplugs if you can.
Yeah, I definitely will. The cars are quite loud, I expect.
Yeah. So how many races do you think we're gonna have? In 2020.
Well, the goal is 15. I think 15 is very doable, but I think 15 or 16 is probably what we'll expect. What to expect.
Yeah. If we get 15 or 16, we because in the 90s and in the 90s that was a full season, wasn't it? So
yeah, that was the standard back then, and if you go further back, there was even less than that. So I don't think if anyone says, "Oh, Hamilton only got it because it's a shorter season," I don't think that's an excuse at all.
Yeah. So, what so we've discussed like your your favorite driver, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is the best of all time? Hamilton, Senna, or Schumacher? Schumacher.
Well, I never saw Senna or Schumacher in their prime, but I've seen races and I've read about them. And if I were to go on myself, I would say Schumacher probably is. Like, he did pull some antics, but I think his raw speed and how he could get a car that probably wasn't the best into pole position, into race wins, I think he's probably the best.
Yeah. So you know, you know, I agree with you because deep down I'm a massive Michael Schumacher fan. Do you think Formula One is ever going to come to Ireland? Like,
Um, I don't think so. We had a race back in the 1940s, actually. I found it out recently. But no, I don't expect a Formula One race to ever be in Ireland because our best track, I don't think even has the proper license. So
yeah, which is a shame, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
what are your best? What are your favorite tracks?
Um, I do like Spa and Silverstone because they always have great races. But one that I think Hungary is one of my favorite tracks, but that doesn't get mentioned enough. I think it's not the best for overtaking, but Hungary always has great races because strategy and people are fighting it for front.
Yeah. So yeah. So do you want to ask me anything about Formula One?
Yeah, okay. Why did you get into Formula One originally?
Why did I get into Formula One? Oh, it was my dad.
Oh, sorry.
I watched it with my dad. And he got me into it, and I've been watching it ever since. Like my first race was the one that I can remember.
Sorry. Yeah.
The one that I can remember actually was in my first race that I can remember properly was Imola 1994.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I've been following Formula One ever since. Like
Yeah.
I've been liking it ever since. So, do you play the F1 games?
Yes, I have the last few editions and I find them quite fun. I don't play them too much, but I do get them and I do few online, few career modes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about Formula E?
Um, I I like watching the races, but I haven't committed to it yet. I watched the first few races of this season, but then it got cancelled, so I think I might try watch more of it this year.
Do you reckon is Formula E is under threat from Formula One is under threat from Formula E?
I don't think so. They're two completely different things, and they both appeal to like similar markets, but not the same. I think Formula One may be heading toward electrical and like electrical series, but that won't be for another while. So I don't think they're under threat for the immediate future.
Yeah. So where um where would you like to see Formula One in like the future in the next few years?
Um, Next few years, they they do have their sustainability targets that they want to get for the next few years, and I think they might start. Well, they have hybrid engines, so it's difficult to say, and I don't think they'll go full electric, but I don't think they'll go back to full petrol engines. So I think they'll remain similar in their style for the next couple of years, and then adapt to the world situation in the next few years.
Yeah. So what tracks would you add, and what tracks would you get rid of?
Well, tracks that I would add, Sepang is always one that gets brought up. That was like it's one of the best tracks when it was on the calendar. And I think I would love to see Malaysia back. Istanbul was a great track I can remember. And then if we're going further back, Imola is a great historic track, and I think it might not be the best racing, but I think it'd be great to have. And then to get rid of, I think there's probably a few that are subject to. I think there's a few tracks that you could get rid of. Sochi is the one that immediately comes to mind. Haven't been a good race there in years. And in France, Polo Cars isn't a great track. I think it's more for testing. I don't think we should have races there.
I agree with you, actually. Would you get rid of Monaco, or do you reckon that's too much in the history? That's too iconic.
I don't think you can get rid of Monaco from Formula One. It's too iconic. Even though the cars aren't the most suitable to the track, I think it's been on nearly every season, and it's just the crown jewel of Formula One. I don't think you can get rid of it.
So interesting, yeah. Question for you. Given that you are a Ferrari fan, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think Formula One could survive without Ferrari?
It wouldn't have the same marketing appeal because Ferrari are a worldwide brand, and if you watch Formula One for the first time, you see the red, you see Ferrari, you go, oh, I know them. But I think they could. Ferrari, while they are massive in terms of Formula One, I think Formula One is a different entity. So Mercedes and Red Bull are still big enough, and McLaren, Williams, they have history as well. So I think Formula One could survive without Ferrari.
Yeah, but do you think Ferrari could survive without Formula One?
I'm not entirely sure. That one's more difficult to say because Ferrari, when you think Ferrari, I think Formula One, but I'm a Formula One fan. But a lot of people make that connection as well, and they promote their cars and fashion and everything to Formula One. So I don't think they would be as successful without Formula One, but I think they would still survive.
Yeah. So what do you make as a Ferrari fan? What do you make of all the times when Ferrari threatening to leave the sport and everything?
A lot of the time it's empty threats. They say we'll do it if you don't give us this, but I think the threat of Ferrari leaving Formula One is big enough to make changes. And I don't like that teams can veto stuff, but I think Ferrari saying we will leave if this doesn't happen does provide a big enough threat for change to happen.
Yeah. Do you think Ferrari have got too much of a hold over Formula One in general?
I think so, yeah. I think the teams control too much because, for example, recently reverse grids, Mercedes didn't want that, even though most of the other teams did. So I think with one team blocking something, I think that's not fair to anyone.
So
I think Ferrari in the same boat.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I think that I don't know, because I think Formula One should take more action over it. I think it's not really good for Ferrari to do that.
Yeah. So, coming back to reverse grids, would you be? Were you a fan of the idea, or were you totally against it?
I wasn't totally against it. I think if you don't at least try something, it will never work out. Like, you won't move on. I don't think it was probably the solution to everything, but I think if we're trying to figure out solutions, we have to try everything. And it works well in Formula 2 and Formula 3 and all them. So I think, why not give it a shot in Formula 1? And if it doesn't work out, we can get rid of it.
Yeah. So, are you looking forward to this weekend's, also coming weekend's Austrian Grand Prix?
Yeah, I can't wait because I've been without motorsport for a couple of months, and I've watched a few NASCAR races. Didn't really like that. I watched a few other formulas, but nothing beats Formula One, and I can't wait for them to be out on track.
Yeah. So, you're saying nothing beats Formula One for you. Why do you think that? Explain to me why that is.
Because it's the pinnacle. Like, if IndyCar is great and that's fantastic, but it doesn't have a global appeal. Whereas if you look at like a rally championship, that's quite niche. But Formula One, it's like the biggest motorsport in the world. It's everything. Like, it's the fastest cars, the best drivers, and I think just watching them go around the track is high skill, avoiding the barriers, like getting them lap times. It's nothing beats that.
Yeah. So you will always be a Formula One fan deep down, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I follow other. I do like Formula 2, Formula 3. I've watched some IndyCar and Formula E, but Formula 1's always the best for me.
Yeah. So, final question for you. You know, Mick Schumacher is on the brink of going to he's going to be going to Formula One in the next. When do you think that is?
Well, it's his second year in Formula 2, and I think he'll have a great season. And I don't think he will go straight into Ferrari, but I do see him promoting to like Alpha or an Haas next year. I think he will be in Formula 1 next year.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
And do you reckon he's going to go to Ferrari?
I'm not sure because Ferrari have a great load of drivers, and I think Robert Schwartzman is probably the best. And I think if anyone from their academy will be in Ferrari, I think it's Robert Schwartzman. But the name Schumacher and Ferrari go together really well, and I think if they can get Schumacher in, I think they'll go for it.
Do you reckon it would put him under more? Do you reckon it could destroy his career though because of the pressure he would be under?
I don't think if he goes to Ferrari and has a bad season, I don't think it'll destroy his career, but I think it will obviously have setbacks because competing, if you go to a top team and don't show you're on the pace, it's never good. But I don't think it will ruin his career. I think if he doesn't stick with Ferrari, he will find a seat elsewhere because he's too good not to.
Do you reckon he's too good? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a great driver.
So I think we're about to wrap it up there. But have you got any more to say?
Nothing else. Just can't wait for Formula 1 to get started again.
Yeah, you and me both, mate. So I'm just gonna edit this video, and then hopefully it's gonna come out on your birthday, on your 18th birthday. So, happy birthday.
Thanks.
For the 10th of July, you said, didn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Happy 18th birthday. So, what any plans?
I I don't have any plans, but I'd probably go out with friends. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will do something, yeah.
Yeah. You have a you have a good one, and then happy birthday, and cheers for commenting on my videos. Anyway, I
Yeah.
always I always enjoy reading your comments, and nice to have a chat with you.
Yeah, it's lovely having this chat. It's great to have a chat with you for the first time. This is quite nice.
And then maybe we can do because you haven't got a YouTube channel, have you?
No, but I have been thinking of starting one and seeing what happens.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal for you. If you do, let me know and I'll come on.
Okay. If I do, I'll definitely ask you to come on.
All right.
Okay.
I'll let you know when this is live, and if you haven't already, don't forget to follow Sam on his Twitter, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And any final thoughts, Sam?
Nothing. Nothing I can say at the moment.
Okay. So I'll speak to you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.